He entered a plea of guilty to felonious assault, felony of the second degree, along with an accompanying 3-year firearm specification. He also pled guilty to a domestic violence and child endangering, both misdemeanors of the first degree. At the time of the plea, the court ordered pre-sentence investigation report along with a victim impact statement. Those having been accomplished and delivered, we are here today for sentencing.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may it please the court, we would ask this honorable court to impose the minimum possible term of incarceration in this matter. We understand Mr. Eason is subject to a mandatory 3-year term for the firearm specification, and I apologize, Your Honor, I'm recovering from an illness, so I apologize in advance for my coughing. He has 2 outstanding warrants from Cleveland from the same time frame. We are dealing with those. However, we were waiting on the conclusion of this matter to do so. Your Honor, Mr. Eason had no criminal history, Judge. It had no interaction with law enforcement. His parents are here in the courtroom, Your Honor. His father and mother sitting behind me. He had a young child. He was in a relationship with a young lady who is the victim in the incident case, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Eason had a bad lapse in judgment on a individual particular morning. Your Honor, he acknowledges what he did was wrong. He understands that he obviously should not have slashed the individual's tires. He also understands he in no way, shape, or form should have possessed a firearm in this incident. Your Honor, I will note that although we acknowledge the dangerousness of him actually possessing the firearm, so as Mr. Eason explains to me, he never intended to intentionally shoot or fire that firearm. It's my understanding, Your Honor, that he came up to the vehicle, to the left rear passenger door, tapped the weapon on the window, and so doing, as he expresses to me, caused him to pull the trigger and the firearm went off, Your Honor. He understands the seriousness of the incident. He understands how bad it could have been. He understands that this bullet entered the rear left passenger window, traveled through the right front passenger headrest and out and exited the vehicle through the right front passenger window. Had a passenger been in the right front seat, Your Honor, we would be here on much different charges. Had that firearm gone off a couple feet to the right, where his 4-year-old daughter was sitting in the center of the rear seat, or gone off a couple feet to the left, where his child's mother was sitting in the driver's seat, we would be here on much different charges and under many different circumstances. Your Honor, fortunately that didn't happen, but Mr. Eason still now has learned and sees the results of the dangerousness of simply even possessing a firearm. It has the ability to go off whether you intend it to or not. Now granted, yes, he grabbed the firearm, he brought it to the car. He doesn't dispute that. But he did, at least so as he explains to me, and as I think he'll explain to the court, he did not intend to fire that firearm, Your Honor. Your Honor, we would also ask this honorable court to take into consideration Mr. Eason's medical conditions. Mr. Eason suffers from the most serious ailment is sickle cell anemia, Your Honor. I think this court's well aware. This court has been very gracious in considering prior communication from Mr. Eason's medical providers. This court has been very accommodating and helpful in ensuring he gets the proper care at the jail, and Mr. Eason and I both appreciate that, Your Honor. I don't want to belabor that and really make his medical issue a huge part of the record, but he does suffer from sickle cell anemia, Your Honor. So as I was just recently informed, it's my understanding Mr. Eason had some tests run last week that there is some concern with his hemoglobin and some other results with his blood scores being extremely low. It's my understanding from Mr. Eason that he needs surgery for gallstones. He also is suffering from cirrhosis of the liver and also has some ulcers that need to be taken care of, Your Honor. Your Honor, it's my understanding, again, I don't have anything to present to the court because this was presented to me recently. I could certainly get that for whatever it's worth and submit it post this hearing. That Mr. Eason does need surgery. There have been some concerns, at least as conveyed to me through Mr. Eason, that his attending physicians or surgeons have some concerns given his sickle cell anemia and his ability to properly heal in an incarcerated setting. They believe, at least so I've been informed, Your Honor, that it would be advantageous and extremely much more beneficial and less risky for him to recover in a hospital setting, is my understanding, Judge. I don't know if there are other forms of placement for his recovery that the physicians would find more less risky for him. Your Honor, we would ask this honorable court to take into account the fact he does have a child. He would like to see that child at some point. We understand that she was also one of the individuals in the vehicle, and that Mr. Eason displayed a lack of judgment with her present. That being said, he would at some point like to try to reintegrate himself into her life so that he knows that, so that she knows he is a loving father. Your Honor, we would ask this honorable court beyond the mandatory minimums to impose the minimum sentence above and beyond the mandatory minimums. Your Honor, I do also believe Mr. Eason's mother and father and Mr. Eason would like to make a statement.
All right, who do you want to go first?
Your Honor, if we could have Mr. Eason's father, Charlie Rogers.
All right, just state your name and tell me whatever it is you want me to know, okay?
Hello, Charlie Rogers. I'd just like to thank you, first of all, Your Honor, for giving him opportunity to get the medical attention that he needed. Second of all, I'd like to say my son, all his life, he never did anything wrong. He's not the monster that they're trying to make him to be. He's a real good guy. He met the lady when he was 16 years old. She was 19. So she's a lot older than he is. She came to me one day. I was working on a lawnmower, told me that she was pregnant. That was a bad decision he made there. And this bad decision, what he's in now, it's the only two bad decisions he ever had in his life. But in between time, when he had that child, he was the one taking care of that child all the time. And I was proud of him doing the right thing, taking care of his child. I'm sorry that he had a bad situation. I apologize for him, our whole family, his whole family. Thank you for giving him the medical attention that you have gave. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, I believe the mother, Bernice Eason, would like to speak.
Yes, I want to say that, I know you made a mistake or whatever, but my son, he's, smart individual, he's good in school. He is sick. I just want to make sure he get his medical care. And we took care of his baby's mother, which is Aileen. I'm still taking care of her because she's staying with my daughters. So I don't have no animosity towards none of the family. But it's like to me, they act like they never loved him, but they did. And they knew he was a good he was a good partner to her until the later days that led up to what happened. So, she always had a good life because she always stayed with us. And I still see her. I still see Aileen. I just saw her last week. And, she don't have any animosity towards us either. So I just want him to get the medical treatment that he needs. And I apologize for whatever happened because I don't condone bad things or whatever because I love both of them. All three of them. My granddaughter, Aileen, and my son. I just want him to get some help, like if he can go to some programs or something like that. Or if he could get a bracelet or in probation or something so he can get the medical care he needs because they said that in the hospital, in prison or whatever, in jail, he probably wouldn't recover, could he? So that's the only thing I want to say.
Thank you. Mr. Eason, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence in this case?
First and foremost, Your Honor, I am sorry for what happened. I never intend to hurt my daughter or my fiance. I love them. I've been taking care of them for 7 years now, and meeting her was the best thing that ever happened to me. And having my daughter, I love my daughter and her so much. Words can't even explain. Just being with them every day, and my daughter is it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me. My daughter, I know she misses me. I've always been with her, taking care of her every day. I know she misses me now, and I know that day she was really, really really scared, spooked, and my fiance. I know the dangers I put them in, and I shouldn't have even had the firearm to begin with. We also, I know we've been going through a lot of stuff, but And I know they know I love them with all my heart. And I'm sorry. I'm also sorry that I'm sorry that I even brought that danger near them. I truly didn't mean for any of this to happen. I know it was a stupid decision. I know I would give anything to be with them again and see them again, to talk to them and just hear their voice. Like I said, like my mom and dad said, I've always been a good person. I've never been in trouble. Aileen knows that. My daughter, the rest of my family, her family. Through everything she's been through, I've been there for her 100% every step of the way. Even when through all my sicknesses, she's been there. I have no animosity towards her, whatever the case may be. Or even her parents. I love her parents. I love them all. Well, my heart, they are my family. But the case at hand, like, I really truly wish I never had it and never brought any of that around them. And you put them in that situation. This even shocked me. Like, I would never thought this would even happen. I'm very sorry that I put them in that position and scared them like that. I just give anything to be around them again and be with them again. And like my health again, I do want to be in my daughter's life and see her. Like, I don't want her to have to grow up without a father. That's one of the things that, like, my nieces and nephews are going through right now. They just lost their father. I'm scared for her to go through that. And my fiance too. I know she still loves me. I still love her. I know, honestly, she would want both of her parents to get along and be together. Yeah, I really don't want my daughter or them to even go through what they're going through right now. I really ask what my attorney's asking, see if I can get the medical treatment I can get, or like my mom asked, or basically I'm good with keeping up with things and being responsible. I am responsible, and I own up to everything. Like also, like, even if it's a minimum sentence or house arrest or probation, I can keep up with it all, and I'm always do my best with it, just so I can, even work towards being with them again. I know, like, I'll never own any weapon or firearm, like you told me. No issue with that. And that's the most thing I want of all, is just to be with my family again, and my mom and dad, my daughter, and hopefully my fiance again, and rekindle all of our families together and our relationship. And I just want them to know that I love them, always will. I'm sorry. I truly wish none of it ever happened.
All right, thank you. Smulgan?
Your Honor,
I'm sorry.
the victim, Aileen Winlock, and her daughter, Honesty, are not present in the courtroom. However, Aileen has submitted a written statement that she has asked that Gianna Johnson, victim advocate from our office, be allowed to read in the courtroom, if she could do that now.
Okay.
The way this offense has impacted my life is I developed post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, nightmares, depression, and heartbreak. My daughter and I were too traumatized to keep my old car. I had to drive my mother's car to keep from having flashbacks, panic attacks, and to keep Honesty more comfortable to be in the car with me because she was going through the same thing. My mother, Honesty, and I are going to counseling to help us get past this. Trying to understand what went wrong when all I did was love you through it all and tried to continue to have our family with you. I never thought you would ever in your life do something so psychotic to me and your daughter. I'm working on forgiving you for everything you put me through when we were together. I don't hate you even when I should, but I actually pray for you. Never wanted this for you. However, when it comes to Honesty, I won't keep her from you, and I'll allow her to make her own decisions when it comes down to her wanting to see you when she gets a little older. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, Aileen's grandmother, Honesty's great-grandmother, is present in court. Would you like to speak?
Yes.
If that would
Was this
be
Okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm Benita Irwin, Aileen's grandmother. And I wanted to say at this time, it was a shock for me to see Devontae's behavior toward my granddaughter. I was not aware of the things he was doing to her. I did not know. And her dad did not know as well. But he had been doing a lot of physical to her, which I was very shocked of his behavior because he seems to be a very quiet and nice person. Because I have kept honesty on several times along with his mom, and like I said, Aileen going through this has been. I've seen a big change in her. I've been with her ever since she was born. And this girl did love him and tried to do for him, stood by his side several times when he would have his crisis with his sickness. She would be there for him. She would also, like Bernice has said, they did stay with her, which is correct. And she knows them from staying with them. But, Your Honor, I never knew that he could do these things. I never was so shocked when I heard that he had shot through the window and honestly was in the back and she was driving. I was so overwhelmed by this because I never knew this was in him. But I have forgiven him of what he has done toward my granddaughter. And I'm glad that she is willing to forgive him also. But she is still now suffering some of the things that has happened. She has, like she said, panic attacks, honestly cries, just starts crying for no reason and won't tell anybody. And then later she tells us it's because her dad shot through the window. So she doesn't understand what has happened. But we understand, Your Honor, what has happened to her. And I am so speechless and surprised of his behavior. But I'm hoping and I'm praying he will get the help he needs for this so he can go on. He can go on to live a good life. And I appreciate all the things that his dad and mom has did for him and Aileen. And I'm just praying that throughout this, it will be a better day. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mulligan.
I'd like for the court to have some understanding of the victim, Aileen Winlock, as a young woman in her early 20s, a mother of a young child, involved in a relationship with Devontae Eason for 6 years, though the families had known each other since these children were, the victim and the defendant were small children. There was an escalating pattern of domestic violence, and Aileen was the first to admit that she would engage as well, and it was combative between the two of them. But it wasn't until a couple days before this incident, the defendant put his hands around her throat, strangled her, and put his fingers in her mouth to prevent her from breathing, that she realized the person that she loved, the father of her child, was going to kill her. She was dependent on him. She was living off of his income and hers, living in his parents' home. But knowing the danger that she and her child were in, she had the strength to say, I must get away from this situation, and she left. She did what she needed to protect herself and what she thought she needed to do to protect her child. She went to her mother's home. The defendant called her, texted her repeatedly over and over and over again, and this young woman had the strength to not respond. You never see that, especially in someone so young and in a relationship that has deteriorated to this point. Despite her strength and her good choices, the defendant committed this act, not a lapse in judgment, not this something that happened. He made a decision to go to where he knew she was, to lay in wait, to slash her tires so that when she tried to get away, she would be prevented from getting away. He took a gun, he somehow pointed a loaded firearm at a human being, and then comes in here today and says, when I pulled the trigger, somehow I never really intended to fire it. Yet he admits to the police officers that guns don't go off by themselves. This is an extremely serious offense. And the pulling of the trigger wasn't even enough to pull him out of this. He chased her. When he realized that that wasn't going to stop her, he pursued her. Based upon the seriousness of this crime and the profound disconnect that the defendant apparently has to that seriousness, as long as there is that disconnect, Aileen will be in danger. I believe that this crime mandates a sanction on the upper end of the range of the penalties for a felony too, along with the firearm specification. Thank you.
Thank you. I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the the victim impact statement, and I've listened to Mr. Eason, those in support of Mr. Eason, Aileen's grandmother. You can remain seated.
Thank you, Judge.
I've considered the entirety of 29-29-11, 29-29-12, and 29-29-13. As I read through the pre-sentence report, it appears that the events that took place on October 15th of last year were precipitated by what I believe was the evening before, when the physical altercation occurred, causing Miss Winlock to leave that residence and go to her mother's residence at Pine Ridge Apartments. The apparently surveillance information shows that you arrived at Pine Ridge about 5:19 a.m. on the 15th, and you brought a gun with you and some sort of knife or some device that was sharp enough to cut a tire. So why did you have a gun on that day at that time?
I always carry around my case with it. So as I was trying to go through like what was going on, talk to her. I've talked to, first it was her dad, her mom. I talked to them and about what was going on. Through her mom, she's agreed to even say some words to me. So that's why I had decided to go over there, and it was already still with me.
What do you mean it was still
in my
with
car?
you? Is it always kept in your car?
In the case.
In what kind of case?
It's like I forgot what it's called, but it says a locksmith on it, I think.
Okay, so why is it always in your car?
Because I never keep it in the house around like my daughter or around my family or anything.
Okay, where in the car did you normally keep the gun in the case?
It's either always in the trunk or under my seat.
Okay, and so why on the morning of the 15th did you take the gun out of the case?
So it wasn't like that day. It wasn't in the case because it was unloaded. Like it was unloaded and everything. I had just kept it like always discharged, but that day it was loaded. And
well, how did it get loaded if you always kept it unloaded?
No, so that day I had it in the back seat. I forgot to even unload it that day, because usually every day I would unload it even when I'm leaving the house or going into the house. But that day when I had just got off of work and I had wanted to know what was like, she agreed to talk to me for a little bit, so that's when I went over to talk.
All right, well, listen. You've told me a bunch of different things, that you always kept it in a case in the trunk. Told me that you always unloaded it.
Yeah, but
When did you load it when did you load that firearm such that it was loaded on Friday morning, early Friday or early October 15th? When did you load it?
so that night it was already still loaded when I got off of work.
All right. Well, if you always keep it unloaded, why did you load it the night before?
Because
See,
I was out to work. Because anytime I go to work or leave go to work, it's always loaded.
okay. So are you telling me that on the morning of the 15th,
I never unloaded it that day.
that where was it when you got in your car to go to Pine Ridge Apartments? Where was the firearm?
Under the seat.
Under the seat.
Yes.
Out of the case?
Out of it.
You left it overnight in your car, out of the case, under the seat.
Yeah, I didn't get I didn't, usually when I come in the house, they have it on Ring camera. I have a camera at home. Like, I left everything I had in my car and I never took it out. So I left.
And so when you get to Pine Ridge at about 5:19 a.m., when you parked the car in the parking lot, where was the firearm?
It was still under the seat.
Why did you take it from underneath the seat?
Okay, I took it from under the seat because I just wanted her to like listen and talk to me. I wasn't even.
So you were going to use the gun to get her to talk to you?
No, I wasn't at all.
Okay. When you got there to Pine Ridge at 5:19 a.m., where did you park in relation to where her car was?
Where did I park?
Right.
I think it was behind her car.
All right. And how long were you there before you got out and cut her tire?
Probably like, I don't know, like an hour or two.
Why did you cut her tire?
It really was something like I did take my meds before anything. I'm not blaming it on that.
Well, you made a conscious decision to get out of your car and cut her tire, right? And that was to prevent her from leaving when she did come out, right?
Just
Yeah, right? She came out not till about 3 hours after you got there, correct?
Mm-hmm.
With your daughter, right?
Yeah.
You got out of the car with the gun and went up to her car, right? Right?
Yes.
Why did you have the gun when you got out of the car to go up to her car?
I didn't have it to hurt them or threaten them.
Why did you have it then?
I just wanted to only had it just to even even just to talk.
Why do you need a firearm to talk to her?
I don't need it.
Okay. Did you try to talk to her the night before, as Miss Mulligan has indicated, with multiple texts and phone calls, then she did not respond?
Yeah, because I wanted to know what was going on with honesty in her. Like if she was, I was genuinely asking if she was okay. I didn't know what happened.
She wouldn't respond to you, right?
No, but even when there's times that happen and we were okay, and there's times where I genuinely didn't know if she was okay or not. So as indicated in the messages, I asked to see if she was okay or not.
Right, and she didn't respond to you, and you got mad, right?
No, I didn't. I was really worried. So I just called.
Worried would be showing up at the apartment, maybe waiting in the lobby without the gun, without a knife, to see if they were okay. Worried isn't exhibited by parking at her car, staying at your car, cutting the tire, and when she comes out, pull a gun on her so that she'll have to talk to you. The reason you cut the tire is so she couldn't leave, so she'd have to talk to you, right? Go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't go in. I called her mom to talk to her mom, and I said she told me oh, Aileen is here with me right now, and I said, okay, can I come talk to her? She said that's if she wants to talk to you. Then I went up there. I waited outside for a minute, and
I don't know that the surveillance cameras show that is what happened.
No, I didn't get out the car.
Okay.
So this is as I'm on the phone, got off the phone, but she has some that stays there that I can't, like, he wouldn't even let me come up. Her
All right, so
fiance.
that's beside the point, okay? My point is that you being concerned about whether your daughter was okay is not in any way exhibited by you cutting her tire to her car and then getting out of the car and having a gun in your hand visible to her.
Mm-hmm.
That is antithetical to you being concerned for your daughter.
Yeah, and
okay.
I didn't even.
Now so you wanted to talk to her because she wouldn't talk to you. And cutting the tire and pulling the gun was your way to force her to talk to you. That's pretty clear.
Yeah, which was, I agree, is wrong.
Right. Deadly wrong. And in this case, damn near deadly wrong. And I don't know that I honestly don't know sitting here whether you grasp the seriousness of what you did. Because you nearly shot one or the other. And I don't know why you did that. I can only presume from all the stuff I'm looking at and listening to everybody today that you were royally pissed that she wouldn't talk to you. And not only whether you pointed the gun in the direction where the bullet went, whether you tapped on the window with the gun, which is extremely careless. Whatever way it happened really doesn't matter, okay? Because once that gun goes off, that ought to trigger in your mind, boy, what the hell did I just do? Okay, but that wasn't what happened. What happened was she takes off in her car toward 91 and you take off after her. So you go there Friday morning first thing because you're pissed she wouldn't talk to you. So you slash the tire so she can't go anywhere. When she comes out, you pull the gun. The gun goes off, nearly striking her and or your daughter. That doesn't work. And then you begin to chase her down 91.
Okay, so when she pulled off, I went after her so she can stop, so she wouldn't, like, get into an accident. I've called her. I'm like,
that makes no sense.
No.
It makes zero sense that you begin an active chase so she wouldn't get in an accident.
At that moment, I was concerned for her even crashing, with honesty. And once the police came, I immediately pulled over, put on my hazards, and pulled over.
You were very close to sitting here on an aggravated murder charge. Very close.
I know, and it's
all stemming from your relationship with her and the fact that this situation happened Thursday night and carries in on a Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The conduct that you exhibited nearly cost one of those two their lives. And that can't happen. You can't have a civilized society where people are taking shots at other people, particularly family members, anybody. Now, while you had a firearm for a legitimate reason, presumably, that doesn't mean you misuse that firearm for illegitimate reasons. That can't stand.
So,
what? Say what you want me to hear.
Yeah, I know, like, from when I did slash the tire, I do know, like, the dangers of even taking the gun to the car. I just wanted her to even talk to me, because usually we'll even talk about what's going on. Even I agree, like, everything, like, me slashing the tire was wrong and almost hurting my daughter and my fiance. that scared me too. And it clicked right after it happened. I was scared for their safety also.
Well, you should have been, because
And
this escalated in specific steps and ratcheted up each time, from Thursday night to Friday morning through the end. This kept ratcheting up.
and
And what you failed to consider when you did this is the impact it would have on her and your daughter.
yeah, mentally.
And I'm reading the impact statement, and it has had a profound effect.
Mm-hmm.
All right. After consideration of all the information and all the factors contained within the statute, on count one, the felonious assault, there's a firearm specification mandatory sentence of 3 years, which will be served prior to and consecutive to the sentence on the felonious assault, which I'm going to impose a definite minimum sentence of 5 years up to an indefinite maximum sentence of 7.5 years on the felonious assault count one. On count three, I'm going to impose a sentence of 180 days in jail concurrent to count one. Count four, 180 days in jail concurrent with count one, with credit for 167 days served, and the costs are assessed. Upon your release, you'll be on post-release control for 5 years under the parole authority. They will place conditions on you. If you violate those conditions, they could return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If your violation is a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation. The maximum sentence for that violation would be the greater of 12 months, or the time you have